We'll continue now with Ole Miss's Lane Kiffin. The Rebels will host Kentucky on Saturday at 11 o'clock Central on ESPN. To ask a question for Coach Kiffin, please press 10 on your telephone keypad now. And, Coach, while we wait on any questions, if you could please take a minute to comment on your team as you enter this week's game versus Kentucky.
Really, really good team coming in that has been coached well for years. Coach Stoops has done a phenomenal job. I think outside of Alabama and Georgia, has won more than anybody in this conference over a few years' time. And they are very challenging because they play really hard, very physical, limit big plays, and, run a lot of formations of different looks on offense. And, get back arguably their best player on their team for our game.
First up, we have Steve Moulton on WZZN.
Well, you mentioned it right there with Chris Rodriguez coming back. How difficult of a challenge is it when you don't see, he hasn't played this season, and this is his first game out of the gate this year for the Wildcats?
Yeah, I'm sure, obviously that's huge for them. Get a guy fresh and at that position that's carried the ball a lot and be able to, fifth game of the year, haven't taken hits. So, it's very challenging and, we're going to have to play the run a lot better than we did last week.
Yeah, your run game in particular, Coach, a lot has been made about the success you've had. From your opinion, how well do you think your offense has sustained that run game through the first quarter of the season, Coach?
Well, I think somebody said we're, second in the country in rushing or something in Power 5. So, that's, a combination of a lot of things. Obviously the running backs, the O-line, but receivers and tight ends blocking well. And so, we're going to have our biggest challenge on that, versus a very good front and linebackers that really come downhill and led by, Jaquez Jones. And Jaquez has, played really well when he's here and has improved a lot since then, and even improved from last year to this year. So we have our hands full.
Thank you, Coach.
Next is A.C. Stedham of WHEP.
Hi, Coach. Coach, what do you like about Will Levis?
I think he is very accurate. I think that he knows what he's doing really well. Hasn't made many mistakes and moves around to get himself, out of trouble. So it looks like a veteran, really composed veteran quarterback.
Mm-hmm. What is the Mark Stoops defense? How would you define it?
Well, I think he and his brother are similar over the years of playing both of them, and I think are really tough and challenging and give you different third down packages, very multiple, and really do a good job of utilizing their players and programming in. I mean, 2 true freshmen starting already. There's a lot about coaching.
Thank you.
Next is Jason Scarborough of Spirit Media Network.
Coach, you mentioned your rushing attack and how well you've been able to run the football this year. What do you want to see from your offensive line and your receivers in terms of blocking for that rushing attack? What do you want to see from that group or those two groups going into this Kentucky game?
Just consistency and, play what I think is, the best talent that we've played on defense. So, they're going to, really big up front and strong. So we're going to have to continue to improve.
Next, we'll go to Mike Griffith of AJC Dog Nation.
Hey, Coach, you've got one of the unique perspectives having coached in the NFL as well as college level. What are your thoughts on an injury report coming to college football? Do you think it's warranted, needed? Is it feasible?
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Yeah, Coach, I was asking you about an injury report. Having coached in the NFL, do you think that that's applicable to college football? Is it needed and feasible?
I think if we've seen anything, can trickle down and be enforced, targeting rules, rule changes, kickoff. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that has trickled down that may seem like it wouldn't make sense, but, when it does, it does. So, if they made rules, coaches would have to abide by them.
We have another from Steve Moulton.
Yes, Coach. I wanted to ask about Jackson Dart and his development and what you've seen, because certainly hearing from you in the fall, it seemed like a very tight race between him and Luke. So in his further development, what have you seen out of your quarterback, Coach?
Well, he's really dramatically improved, from where we were after, probably 2 games. Looks like so far a much different player, composed, confident, leadership. So I think that turned out to help him when he kind of became the starter and had more reps. So, but it's going to get a lot more challenging as we get into SEC play here starting Saturday.
Is he a better game player than practice player?
No, I think it was just what happens a lot. First off, young, second year, first year with us, which we, not saying it's bad or good, we coached the quarterback dramatically different from the, air raid system he came from. So, that's a lot of learning curve, and so I think it's just a combination of things.
Thank you, Coach.
That's going to be all for today, Coach. Thank you.